Listen up, all you who dare to stand in my path. This is my story, a tale of vengeance, forged in the fires of betrayal and injustice. I am the warrior of darkness, a shadow among men, and my wrath is unending. Know this, I was not born of privilege or power. I clawed my way up from the depths of despair, hardened by a world that spat in my face and laughed as I bled. You think you know pain? You think you understand suffering? Let me enlighten you. From the moment I drew breath, my life was a series of violent lessons. My parents were cut down in front of me, their blood soaking the earth as I was forced to watch, helpless and weak. That was my first taste of the world's cruelty. I was a child, yet the universe showed me no mercy. It was a bitter pill to swallow, but it was only the beginning. Thrown into the streets, I learned quickly that kindness was a lie, a tool for the naive. The real world was a jungle, and I was prey. Every day was a battle for survival, every night a reminder of my insignificance. I fought tooth and nail for scraps, enduring beatings and humiliation. But every blow, every insult, only served to fuel the fire within me. I swore then, as a ragged, starved child, that I would make them all pay, every single one of them. And so began my journey of transformation. I sought out the underbelly of society, the dark corners where the forsaken dwelled. There, I found my teachers, men and women who had been broken by the system, who had nothing left to lose. They taught me the art of combat, the skills of survival, the mindset of a predator. They honed me into a weapon, sharp and unyielding. I learned to fight with anything and everything. Fists, blades, shadows. Pain became my companion, my motivator. I trained until my muscles screamed and my bones ached, pushing myself beyond human limits. Because I knew deep down that only through suffering could I achieve the strength I needed. Only by embracing the darkness could I become what I was meant to be. My so-called empire, the land I called home, was nothing but a nest of vipers. Those in power ruled with an iron fist, their corruption seeping into every facet of society. They thrived on the suffering of the weak, building their towers on the broken backs of those they deemed unworthy. And I was one of those deemed unworthy. They cast me out, branded me a traitor, a threat to their precious order. They thought they could break me, that I would fade into obscurity. But they underestimated the power of a man with nothing left to lose. I wandered the wastelands, a phantom, a whisper on the wind. I lived off the land, hunted and scavenged, growing stronger with each passing day. My hatred festered, my resolve solidified. I would return, not as the boy they had cast aside, but as a force of nature, a harbinger of their doom. Years passed, and the world forgot about me. They grew complacent, secure in their thrones of lies. But I never forgot. Every scar, every wound was a reminder of my purpose. I gathered followers, kindred spirits who had suffered as I had. Together, we forged an army, a brotherhood bound by blood and vengeance. We trained in secret, our movements calculated and precise. We became the stuff of nightmares, a specter that haunted the edges of the Empire's consciousness. And then, the time came. We struck with the fury of 1,000 storms, our blades thirsty for retribution. We tore through their defenses, a relentless tide of rage and steel. Their screams were music to my ears, their blood the balm for my wounds. I showed them no mercy, for they had shown me none. I reveled in their terror, their disbelief as they faced the monster they had created. I stood at the gates of their citadel, a conqueror, a destroyer. The Emperor himself trembled before me, a pathetic shell of a man. I looked into his eyes, saw the fear, the regret, but it was too late for regret. I raised my blade and ended his reign, a final act of justice in a world devoid of it. Now, I rule the ashes of the Empire, a king in the land of shadows. But my thirst for vengeance is never sated. I am a creature of the dark, my soul forever scarred by the injustices I endured. I fight not for glory, but for the satisfaction of seeing my enemies broken and bleeding. I am the warrior of darkness, and my story is far from over. I will carve my legacy into the bones of those who dare to defy me, and the world will know my name, will tremble at the mere whisper of it. For I am vengeance incarnate, and I will never be stopped. Every day, I am haunted by the faces of those who wrong me, their sneers, their disdain. They believed themselves untouchable, that their wealth and status would shield them from retribution. But I proved them wrong. I showed them that even the most powerful can fall, that their riches mean nothing in the face of true rage. I shattered their illusions, tore down their castles of sand. My followers, they too have stories of betrayal, of suffering. We are bound by our scars, united in our quest for justice. We have no place in a world that shuns us, that labels us as outcasts. So we made our own place, a sanctuary for the damned. We live by our own rules, guided by a code forged in pain. We trust only in ourselves, for we know that the world is a cruel and treacherous place. I look around and see the broken remnants of what was once a proud and arrogant empire. I see the fear in the eyes of those who remain, the dread that they too might face my wrath. It is a just fear, for I have no mercy left to give. My heart is as cold as the steel I wield, my soul as dark as the night that cloaks me. I am a predator, and they are my prey. But my story does not end here. My thirst for vengeance is a flame that will never be extinguished. There are still those who escape my wrath, who hide in the shadows, plotting their return. Let them come. I welcome their challenge, for it will only serve to make me stronger. I will hunt them down, one by one, and show them the same mercy they showed me. None. I have become a legend, a nightmare whispered in the halls of power. They speak of me with fear, with reverence, for they know that I am unstoppable. They know that I am driven by a force they cannot comprehend, a fury that cannot be contained. I am the embodiment of their worst fears, the retribution they thought they could avoid. In the darkness, I find my strength. In the silence, I plot my next move. I am always watching, always waiting. My enemies will know no peace, no safety. They will live in constant fear of the day I come for them. And when that day comes, they will understand the true meaning of despair. So hear me now, and remember my words. I am the warrior of darkness, and my story is one of pain, of suffering, of unrelenting vengeance. I was forged in the fires of betrayal, tempered by the cold steel of determination. I am a force of nature, an unstoppable storm, and I will not rest until every last one of my enemies has been brought to their knees. I have seen the darkness in men's hearts, the depths to which they can sink. My own journey through that darkness has taught me that true power lies not in riches or status, but in the strength to endure, to overcome. The empire that once ruled with an iron fist now lies in ruins, a testament to the power of a man who refused to be broken. My rise was not swift. It was a slow, painful ascent, marked by the blood and tears of those who stood in my way. The empire's rulers believed they were invincible, their thrones unassailable. They reveled in their cruelty, their disdain for those they deemed lesser. But they failed to see the storm gathering on the horizon. They failed to see me. In their arrogance, they never imagined that a boy from the streets could rise to challenge their might. They never imagined that the fires of vengeance could burn so brightly. My journey has taken me to the farthest reaches of this broken land. I have seen the despair in the eyes of the oppressed, the hopelessness that comes from living under the boot of tyranny. It is a sight that fuels my resolve, that strengthens my will. For every tear shed, every life lost, I have vowed to bring retribution. I have vowed to tear down the edifices of power and rebuild a world where justice is more than a word. In the wastelands, I honed my skills, becoming a master of survival. I learned to move unseen, to strike without warning. I became the predator, and they my prey. My followers and I are bound by our shared suffering, our shared desire for revenge. We are not a mere army. We are a force of nature, a relentless tide that sweeps away the old order. We do not seek glory or fame. Our actions are not driven by the desire for recognition. We are driven by the need to right the wrongs, to balance the scales. Each victory, each conquest, is a step toward a world where the powerful cannot prey upon the weak. Our code is simple: retribution for the fallen, justice for the wronged, and no mercy for the guilty. I have have seen the faces of my enemies twisted in terror, their pleas for mercy falling on deaf ears. They beg for a reprieve, but I have none to give. Their suffering is the price they must pay for their transgressions. It is the only currency I accept. Every swing of my blade, every drop of their blood, is a step toward my ultimate goal. A world cleansed of corruption and tyranny. Our battles are not confined to the physical realm. We fight a war of ideologies, challenging the very foundations of the society that sought to crush us. We dismantle their propaganda, expose their lies, and show the world the truth. The empire's facade of righteousness crumbles under the weight of our revelations. The people, once blinded by the glittering lies of their rulers, begin to see the rot that lies beneath. We are more than just warriors. We are beacons of hope for the oppressed. Our message resonates with those who have suffered in silence, who have longed for a chance to rise against their oppressors. They join our ranks, swelling our numbers, strengthening our cause. Together we march toward a future where justice is not an illusion, but a reality. Yet despite our victories, the darkness within me remains. It is a part of who I am, a reminder of the path I have walked. My heart is hardened by the trials I have endured, my soul scarred by the battles I have fought. I am the warrior of darkness, a shadow that moves through the night, unrelenting and unstoppable. I find solace in the silence of the night, in the moments when the world is still, and I can reflect on my journey. The faces of those I have lost, those who have fallen by my side, haunt me. Their sacrifices are not forgotten. They are the fuel that drives me, the reason I continue to fight. Their spirits live on in our cause, guiding us, giving us strength. As I stand atop the ruins of the Empire, I see the dawn of a new era on the horizon. It is a world we have forged through blood and fire. A world where the powerful no longer hold sway over the weak. But our work is far from over. The remnants of the old order still lurk in the shadows, plotting their return. They are a disease that must be eradicated, a blight that must be cleansed. I am the cure. I am the force that will purge this world of its sickness. My enemies will find no refuge, no sanctuary. They will be hunted, brought to justice, and made to pay for their sins. This is my vow, my purpose. I am the warrior of darkness, and I will not rest until my task is complete. To those who would stand against me, who believe they can challenge my resolve, I say this: come and face me. Test your strength against mine. You will find that I am unyielding, a force of nature that cannot be tamed. I will crush you, as I have crushed all who have come before you. Your end is inevitable, your fate sealed by your own actions. My followers and I continue to train, to grow stronger. We are always ready, always vigilant. We know that the road ahead is fraught with danger, that our enemies will not go quietly. but we are prepared. We are the storm that will wash away the old and bring forth the new. We are the harbingers of a world reborn. In the end, it is not about vengeance for vengeance's sake. It is about justice, about ensuring that the suffering we have endured is not repeated. It is about building a future where the strong do not prey on the weak, where power is not a tool of oppression, but a force for good. This is our vision, our dream, and we will make it a reality. So hear my words and tremble. Know that I am the warrior of darkness, a shadow that moves through the night, a force that cannot be stopped. My journey is far from over, my story still unfolding. I will continue to fight, to carve my legacy into the bones of those who dare to defy me. And the world will know my name, will fear the whisper of it. For I am vengeance incarnate, and I will never be stopped. This is my story. This is my vow. I am the darkness that consumes, the shadow that strikes without warning. I am vengeance, and I am eternal. Fear me, for I am coming. And when I do, the world will know the true meaning of justice.